everyone. This is In-Game Mods. We're doing an unboxing to break down to the demo. This is Momodora, Reverie under the Moonlight. This is a physical copy produced from Limit Runs for the PlayStation 4. To start off, there were no updates for the game. This comes with all currently made updates, all on disc since the making of this video, which is very nice to see and what I come to expect from a Limit Run produced physical copy. Now to jump to the game, Momodora Reverie on the Moonlight is not actually the first installment to the series for most people if they don't know. This is actually the fourth installment to the series. There is a first and second one which is not available on Steam or PlayStation 4 for that matter, but the third installment is available on Steam and it's for purchase, as well as this one's available on Steam. Now I saw this one here multiple times on Steam and I was very intrigued to pick it up, but anyone knows me, I'm a big physical copy collector and I only literally play on physical copies. So when I heard that Limit Run was going to produce a physical copy, I knew I had to be there day one. And I can say straightforward that I'm not disappointed. I'm really glad to have this copy in my shelf. Momodora Reverie on the Moonlight plays your typical Metroidvania style game, but it takes a great inspiration from the Dark Souls series, which you can just feel it in the atmosphere, gameplay style, and so forth. And which is not a bad thing. It actually blends in pretty good, considering that even games like the Dark Souls series has got somewhat a Metroidvania kind of style to it, where there's a lot of branching paths and sometimes can link you to previous paths that you've been to before. Well, as I said, it takes a great inspiration from it. You have many items you'll find across the game, as well as a life item called Bellflowers that only get replenished when you reach a certain bell, which works just like a bonfire from Dark Souls. As well as that every time you die, you will respawn by one of those bells. Now, you either by hitting the bell or praying at the bell is how you save your progress, as well as you can use these bells to warp you around the level at a certain point in the game. So like I said, it works a lot like the Dark Souls series, as well as it takes the storytelling approach as well, where everything is quite vague and ominous and kind of draws you in its atmosphere, as well as its music. Everything is quite on point, as well as the combat is fluid, and it has just that right feel to get you really into it, as well as the exploration feels very rewarding multiple times. It is a very, very good, decent game that I'm proud of. Quite happy with it. Now, the game is quite short and small, and you'll get through it pretty quickly. I beat my first time playing through it was on the hard difficulty, and it only took me about 5 hours to beat it. But that was a lot of grind time too. I probably could have beaten it within 4 hours, maybe less, if I really tried to run through it as quick as I could. So don't expect a really long experience. And due to that, I am not going to show you my progression save, because you can beat the game and run through the entire game with a New Game Plus. But due to the fear of how short the game is and how the map's not truly big and is not very much into the game, I don't want to ruin any spoilers for you guys. So that's actually the interesting point about my game about this, is that though this game is great, and do not let me say anything bad, but from that, I just want to point out certain little things about it, is that the game almost feels incomplete. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It almost feels like a prototype version. There are just many things in the game that just seem very questionable in game design aspect. Like, there's a certain moment in the game when you become a certain animal in the game, and it's really cool, and that animal works really well in the game, but eventually you just stop being that animal. You just became that animal, you'll immediately get a point of the game that just gets rid of the animal, and you're no longer that animal. There's really no explanation why you became that animal, and there's no really big use of being that animal. Even though that animal is really cute and really cool, but it doesn't feel integrated that well. As well as the certain other items in the game have very little purpose or use in the game. It just felt like they kind of just threw it in there because they thought it would be cool, or just put it in there as a 1 minute thing, or just they didn't have really any ideas of what to do with it. It kind of was disappointing in some aspects. Now, the game is still fun and good, but like I said, I can't help but feel like this was an idea version more than a complete version. It's still a great game as is, but there's oftentimes you wish they could have went a little bit more with it, that it could have been bigger and broader than what it is. And that's one of my biggest complaint, is like I said, it's quite short and small. So when you're pretty much investing yourself into it a lot, it's going to be quickly over for you. And that's kind of disappointing, considering the game has so much atmosphere and so much, like, just it draws you in so much with the story, the characters, and everything. And like I said, it got that Dark Souls approach where you see these interesting characters and you want to know more about them, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And like I said, it just kind of leaves you a little saddened that you don't see more into it. And I don't know if that's like the typical style for the Momodora series. Like I said, I haven't played the original ones, and I heard that they are working on the fifth. It is being worked on the fifth one. And truth be told, I would really like them just to go back to this one and just try to make it bigger and broader. Like I said, it just felt like an idea than an actual full-fledged game. But do not let that draw you, steer you away from the game. It's still a good game. You still should look into picking it up for Steam or for the PlayStation 4 on a digital download. Because a physical copy I can see eventually going to be quite expensive later on. Because it's that kind of a gem of a game. It's a fun game. It just doesn't feel like a fully fleshed out game. I don't know the best way to describe it. If you've ever played one of the games, you'll know what I'm talking about. The game isn't bad. Don't take this as though it's a bad game. It's just, I just wish there was more to it. And as well as that the items and abilities in the game could have been a little bit more fleshed out. Give you more experience in the game. Because overall, the game, you will find yourself using pretty much the same kind of gear, the same tactics to get through pretty much every scenario. As well as the boss fights are really interesting and intriguing, but once you learn their patterns and methods, you'll get through it pretty quickly. And that's the other thing is that the game really isn't that hard. I played it on hard on my first time through, and yeah, I died a few times, but in the most part, I got through it pretty easily. As well as that, on hard, most enemies, like bosses, kill you pretty much in one hit. So that when you unlock insane difficulty, it really didn't feel too much of a difference in difficulty. You already learned how to dodge, so you're not gonna have too much trouble as long as you don't get hit. So that's my recommendation for you. If you've already played this kinds of games, or you got any experience in platformers or Metroidvania style games, or just you definitely got some skills in the games, I recommend start immediately on the hard difficulty, because that's how you get the most experience, the best experience from the game. And as well as, like I said, I'm not going to show you too much because I don't want to give too much spoilers in the game, but the game is pretty good. I'm not trying to diss it in any way. I'm glad to have it on my shelf, and I do believe and I hope that everyone else can get them on their shelves as well, because this disappoints me again that he produced this limit run version. It always makes me sad to see these great games get such a small production run, because I wish more people get to play it. I hope that maybe if he comes out with the fifth one at some point, that he can include the first, second, third, as well as the fourth all on one disc for everyone. If he can come with the fifth one, that'd be great too. I want this experience to be for everyone and not just for a few selective people. So, like always, I will leave links down in the description if you're interested in a copy. Again, this is a limit run version, so your limit run is not going to be making it anymore, so sorry about that. But, like I said, I'll still leave links to Limit Run, so it's a site you should always try to check out to see if they're producing a game you might like, as well as I will leave links to other third-party sites that might be selling it. So, thank you all for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me, and I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye-bye!